Today marks the beginning of the holiday season here in Switzerland. The snow is fallen in the mountains, the leaves have all left the trees, and everybody's feeling very festive. So to introduce today's topic on the stages of economic integration, we're going to take a slight deviation from our normal video lesson style. I've invited a couple of my grade 11 students to come in and offer you a song to introduce the stages of economic integration. So without further ado, the 6 stages of economic integration.
In the first stage of integration, my trading partners gave to me access to certain products duty-free. In the second stage of integration, my trading partners gave to me free trade in all goods and services and access to certain products duty-free. In the third stage of integration, my trading partners gave to me agreed upon external tariffs, free trade in all goods and services, and access to certain products duty-free. In the fourth stage of integration, my trading partners gave to me free movement of labor and capital, agreed upon external tariffs, free trade in all goods and services, and access to certain products duty-free. In the fifth stage of integration, my trading partners gave to me a common currency, free movement of labor and capital, agreed upon external tariffs, free trade in all goods and services, and access to certain products duty-free. In the sixth and final stage of integration, my trading partners gave to me a single fiscal authority, a common currency, free movement of labor and capital, agreed upon external tariffs, free trade in all goods and services, and access to certain products duty-free.
So there you have it, folks, the 6 stages of economic integration performed by 2 of my IB economics students. Big thanks to the girls who helped me out on this lesson. Let's do a quick review of what they taught us. We learned that there are 6 ways that countries' economies can become integrated with one another. We started with a PTA. In a PTA, countries agree to reduce the tariffs or eliminate the tariffs only on particular goods and services between each other. The purpose of such a trade agreement, of course, is to facilitate freer trade in the certain markets which have been liberalized. However, this is a very low level of economic integration. Countries are not committing to a large level of trade in all goods and services. However, once we move up to a free trade area, we see a slightly larger commitment to free trade between nations. Countries in a free trade area, otherwise known as an FTA, the example we used was NAFTA, which is made up of Canada, the United States, and Mexico, agree to reduce or eliminate tariffs on all goods and services. So we can say that this is the second highest level of economic integration between nations. Free trade certainly occurs within the free trade area. However, such agreements do little to facilitate global free trade because countries not included in the agreement are not benefiting from access to the markets of the countries involved. So we can say that all other countries do not benefit from the reduced or eliminated tariffs that the countries within the free trade area enjoy. Moving on to a customs union. As the girls explained, a customs union is a free trade area in which the countries within the free trade area agree on common external tariffs. As an example, let's have a quick look at the Mercosur agreement, which includes the nations I've circled here. Both Brazil and Argentina are members of Mercosur. They have no tariffs on goods traded between the two of them. However, they have common tariffs on all goods imported from countries not included in Mercosur. So like a free trade area, there are no tariffs on countries. However, unlike a free trade area, countries within a customs union agree on common external tariffs. We are moving around our circle here towards complete economic integration. A common market, again, builds on the foundations of a customs union and a free trade area. A common market is a customs union in which labor, we have labor here, can cross borders without any regulations at all. In addition, investors in one country can invest in other countries without any regulations. The best example of a common market is the European Union. Within the EU, workers from one country can move freely to any other country. And businesses in one country can invest in another country without any regulations imposed by the domestic governments. A common market is a customs union in which labor and capital can flow freely across international borders. Moving on, around our circle of economic integration, we come to a currency union. The best example of a currency union is, of course, the Eurozone. The Eurozone consists of 19 EU countries that have adopted the same currency. So no matter where we are in the blue area on this map, the currency used is the euro. Hence, there is further reductions in the barriers to trade between members of a currency union. Not only can workers and capital flow across international borders freely, but the same currency being shared by all these countries further facilitates trade between them and makes transactions between buyers and sellers that much easier. The only additional level of economic integration beyond currency union is what we call complete economic integration. In fact, complete economic integration basically means that the different states in a region become one country. The United States of America, of course, is an example of a completely integrated national economy. While there are 50 states, each with their own governors, their own state governments, and certain policies and regulations that each state can set, they all share the common currency of the US dollar, of course, and there are no barriers to trade whatsoever between states. Workers within one state can move to any other state. Businesses within each state can invest in other states, and there is a common central bank, that's the United States Federal Reserve, which I have here. And more importantly, what separates a completely integrated economy from a currency union is that there is one government setting fiscal policy. So taxes and government spending, all fiscal policy, is controlled by a federal government. Whereas in a currency union, fiscal policy is still determined by the individual nations. Each country within the Eurozone, for example, can run budget deficits or budget surpluses to their liking. This, of course, leads to certain problems that don't exist under a fiscal union, such as the United States of America. I'll circle a few countries here, which in the last few years have had some fiscal crises, which have led to major problems for the Eurozone as a whole. Of course, Portugal, Spain, Italy, and Greece all ran large budget deficits, leading to the Euro crisis that we are now very familiar with. So this wraps up our special holiday edition of the 6 stages of economic integration. We've gone from the lowest stage of economic integration, known as a preferential trade agreement, up towards complete economic integration. Every stage of economic integration builds on the stage below it. So a customs union is a free trade area. A free trade area is a preferential trade agreement. However, as we move around our circle here, we are achieving higher and higher levels of economic integration as additional barriers to trade are removed, all the way up to complete economic integration, at which point the states involved in such a system share one federal government which sets all tax and government spending policies for the nation as a whole. Thanks so much for watching the lesson today, and a big thanks to the girls who helped me with the audio. Obviously, my voice is not cut out for such a challenge. Happy holidays, everybody, and I hope you do well on your semester exams.